Did you know that over 70% of serious health issues in seniors are preceded by subtle warning signs that are often ignored? Yes, 70%. And the scariest part? Most people brush these signs off as normal aging, until it's too late. In today's video, we'll uncover the most alarming symptom you should never ignore after the age of 70, and why this one red flag could save your life if caught in time. As we age, our bodies whisper warnings before they scream. But many of us, especially after 70, don't hear them clearly, or worse, we ignore them altogether. We think, oh, it's just fatigue. Maybe I didn't sleep well. Must be stress. But sometimes, those tiny discomforts or changes are your body trying to save your life. Today's video is more than just health advice, it's a wake-up call. We'll break down the most common but dangerous health symptoms that are too often overlooked in people over 70. Whether you're over 70, caring for someone who is, or simply planning ahead, this video will give you life-saving knowledge. Let's face it, we live in a fast-paced world. Even seniors today are staying busier than ever, helping with grandkids, volunteering, traveling, and trying to stay active. But in the process, one major mistake keeps happening: we dismiss symptoms. We normalize warning signs. We delay going to the doctor. How many times have you, or someone you know, said, "It's probably nothing. I'll wait it out. I don't want to bother the doctor"? This delay in action can lead to heart attacks, strokes, silent cancers, and degenerative diseases that could have been managed or even prevented, if caught early. The problem isn't aging. The problem is ignoring what aging is trying to tell us. As we age, the body doesn't always sound alarms with sirens. Sometimes, it leaves behind breadcrumbs, tiny clues that something deeper is going on. And if we know how to read them, we can take life-saving action before it's too late. Let's explore the most overlooked symptoms after age 70 and why they're more dangerous than you think. 1. Silent chest pressure or mild discomfort. It doesn't always come as a dramatic heart attack scene like in movies. For many seniors, a heart attack begins with a whisper. A mild pressure, a sense of heaviness, or a tight belt around the chest. Sometimes it's just shortness of breath after walking a few steps or climbing stairs. The American Heart Association warns that older adults often don't feel the classic sharp pain. Instead, the symptoms are subtle and ignored. And here's the terrifying part. By the time you do feel actual pain, the damage might already be done. 2. Mental fog, confusion, or senior moments that come and go. We often joke about forgetting our keys or mixing up names. But after 70, intermittent confusion, sudden memory lapses, or trouble finding words, especially when they come out of nowhere, can be a major red flag. They can signal a transient ischemic attack or mini stroke, early Alzheimer's or vascular dementia, or even silent seizures in some cases. Doctors say that when the brain is involved, time is brain, every minute counts in preventing long-term damage. So if someone suddenly becomes disoriented, gets lost in familiar places, or slurs their speech, even briefly, seek help immediately. 3. Persistent shortness of breath. It's one thing to feel winded after intense exercise. But feeling short of breath while walking around the house, while getting dressed, or while lying down. That's not age. That's your lungs or heart crying for help. This could indicate heart failure, pulmonary hypertension, fluid in the lungs, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Sometimes, this shortness of breath is accompanied by a nagging nighttime cough or needing more pillows to sleep comfortably. These aren't random quirks. They're early signs of systemic breakdown. 4. Digestive disruptions that seem minor. Many people think bloating, constipation, or indigestion are just part of getting older. But these symptoms, especially when new or persistent, can point toward colon cancer, pancreatic disorders, gallbladder issues, or even intestinal blockages. Blood in the stool, unintentional weight loss, and a change in bowel habits for over 2 weeks should never be brushed off. The digestive system is a window into internal inflammation, infection, or worse, so when something feels off, it's time to pay attention. 5. Loss of balance or sudden dizziness. One minute you're walking just fine, the next, your legs feel wobbly, or the room spins. Don't write it off as clumsiness. This could be a sign of vestibular issues in the inner ear, neurological disorders like Parkinson's, or even early multiple sclerosis or a mini stroke. Falls in seniors are not just a danger to bones, they're a sign of deeper systemic issues. And here's a lesser-known fact. A person over 70 who falls once is twice as likely to fall again, unless the root cause is treated. 6. Fatigue that feels like you're walking through mud. Everyone feels tired sometimes. But chronic fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, especially when it feels like you're dragging your limbs through quicksand, can be a huge red flag. This is the body's way of saying, I'm running low on oxygen, nutrients, or circulation. It could mean anemia, thyroid issues, heart failure, undetected infections, or even certain cancers. This kind of fatigue is often silent and insidious. People adjust by doing less, but the underlying condition keeps worsening. If someone says, I just don't feel like myself anymore, it's time to listen. 7. Unexplained pain or discomfort, anywhere. Whether it's a persistent backache, neck stiffness, or a stabbing pain in the stomach, unexplained pain, especially if it recurs or increases, is not just wear and tear. It may be signaling a tumor pressing on nerves, bone fractures due to osteoporosis, organ inflammation, or vascular issues. Many seniors try to tough it out. But chronic pain is chronic communication, and ignoring it is like muting the fire alarm. 8. Sudden change in vision or hearing. A blurry spot in the eye. A ringing in the ears. Sudden dimming of one side of your vision. These aren't just annoyances. They can be the first indicators of a stroke, brain tumor, or diabetic complications. And often, these symptoms come quietly. No pain. No swelling. Just subtle distortion or imbalance. Eye health is brain health. Ear health is balance. So if either changes without warning, don't wait. Final word on exploration. These symptoms don't scream, they whisper. But every one of them could be the first step on a path to serious illness, or recovery, depending on how quickly we act. The good news? Early detection, awareness, and medical support can make all the difference. That's why listening to your body after 70 isn't just smart. It's a survival skill. Let me tell you a true story. One that shook a family, and could very well save someone watching this right now. Meet Robert, a 72-year-old retired school teacher. He was active, sharp, and full of life. Every morning, he went for a walk, and every evening, he read stories to his grandkids. But a few weeks ago, Robert noticed something strange. Just small things at first. He'd get winded walking up the stairs, something that never happened before. He laughed it off, just getting older, he'd say. Then came the dull pressure in his chest, especially after meals. He thought it was heartburn. And then, he began feeling confused while driving, missing turns, forgetting his destination. That's when his daughter insisted, "Dad, we're going to the doctor." No excuses. What they found was chilling. Robert had suffered 2 silent mini strokes, and his heart was operating at only 35% capacity. He was in the early stages of congestive heart failure, and his arteries were 80% blocked. The symptoms he thought were normal aging. They were red flags, his body crying out for help. Now imagine if his daughter hadn't stepped in. If another week or 2 had passed. Robert may have collapsed, while driving. Or even worse, in his sleep. Here's the painful truth. Most life-threatening health issues in people over 70 begin quietly. A little fatigue. A little dizziness. A little pressure. But by the time those little things are obvious, the damage is often irreversible. According to the CDC, nearly 80% of older adults who suffer from heart failure, strokes, or sudden illness had warning signs they ignored or dismissed as nothing serious. That's the moment we want to emphasize in this video. Because for every Robert who catches it in time, there are thousands who don't. And sometimes, it's not even for lack of concern, it's the belief that this is just what getting older feels like. But here's the truth. There is a difference between aging and alarming. Between fatigue and failure. Between slowing down and shutting down. Your body knows. It's always talking to you. You just need to learn how to listen. So if you or a loved one over 70 notices even one of the symptoms we discussed, don't wait. Make that call. Book that appointment. Run that test. Because catching it early can mean the difference between living a full life or facing a crisis that could have been prevented. Let's recap what we've uncovered today. Aging doesn't mean ignoring symptoms. Your body whispers long before it screams. Sudden fatigue, mental confusion, breathing difficulty, and chest pressure are not just part of getting old. Early detection equals early intervention. And sometimes, one doctor visit can be the difference between life and tragedy. Have you or someone you love ever ignored a symptom that turned out to be something serious? Share your story in the comments, we can all learn from each other. And don't forget to watch our next video where we reveal the top 5 silent symptoms that predict a stroke weeks in advance. You won't want to miss it. Stay aware. Stay safe. And always, listen to your body.